Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jake. Obviously, I work with Ryanair. I'm a pilot recruitment officer here at Ryanair. But just to give you guys a bit of an understanding of what my role is with Ryanair, I basically conduct the interviews both with cadets and direct entries in our HQ and abroad as well. So I'll be able to give you guys some insights on what we look out for in the interview process, and also further on as well on what we look out for the initial application stage as well. So in regards to questions for the assessment process, I'm more than happy to answer them and give you my insight on what we look out for within Ryanair. But to start things off, guys, what I'm going to cover in this presentation is about the Ryanair Group, considering a pilot career, so probably why you're in the room today and why you've attended this event, and choosing the right flight school, which is extremely important as well, and I'll touch on this as well. A new partnership launch, okay, so very exciting news. We'll be announcing in this presentation our new partner as well, and I'll get to that as well. The new Future Flyer Academy, basically what this is, and I'll explain that in detail, and the Ryanair typewriting program, which I'm sure you're aware of previously and what that consists of. And then the future of what Ryanair looks to deliver for the future and some of our plans with aircrafts we have delivered and what is to come as well. But this is the Ryanair family. I'm going to be mentioning the Ryanair family and the Ryanair Group a lot through this presentation. And when I do mean Ryanair DAC and all of our subsidiaries as well. So Ryanair DAC, Ryanair UK, Malta, Buzz, and Lauda Europe. Lauda Europe being our only A320 operator. So during this presentation, like I said, I'm going to be referencing the Ryanair Group. And when I do reference the whole of the Ryanair team. So in this next slide, rather than me boring you with all statistics and information about Ryanair, I'll play a video. It's probably a lot easier to listen to than listen to me going on about it. Okay?
Ryanair proudly holds the title as Europe's leading airline group, boasting a network of over 90 bases across 37 countries and serving more than 250 airports. Every day, we operate over 3,600 flights and carry more than 500,000 passengers, with plans to welcome 300 million passengers per year by 2034. To achieve this, we're investing more than $40 billion in 400 additional greener aircraft over the next decade. Our recent order of Boeing MAX 10 aircraft promises 21% more seats and an impressive 20% reduction in CO2 emissions, underlining our commitment to sustainability. Additionally, Ryanair continues introducing new game-changer B737-8200 aircraft, delivering 4% more seats and a 16% decrease in CO2 emissions. These changes, along with collaboration with fuel partners to enhance sustainable aviation fuel supply across Europe, has earned Ryanair an industry-leading A- rating for climate protection and ensures that we are on track to net zero by 2050. In tandem with our fleet expansion, we're investing significantly in infrastructure and talent. We've established 5 state-of-the-art training centres in Dublin, Stansted, East Midlands, Milan, and Frankfurt, with further plans to open new training facilities in Krakow and Madrid. These centres boast a total of 28 simulators, with 16 more on order. Our commitment to maintenance excellence is evident through more than 45 in-house maintenance bays, stocking over 95 spare engines with intentions to bolster both in the future. Above all, Ryanair is dedicated to its highly skilled people, with over 20,000 aviation professionals representing 40 nationalities and plans to create 10,000 new roles. We're not just expanding our operations, we are investing in our workforce. This is just the beginning of our journey. As we continue to grow, we're committed to unlocking international year-round tourism, supporting local businesses, and fostering vital connectivity across Europe and beyond. Ryanair, growth for good.
Okay guys, great. So that was just to give you a bit of an insight on what our plans look like for the future, where we're currently sitting on with our aircrafts and our fleet as well. But also to give you guys a bit of a visual on what it actually looks like. It shows you the coverage of where we are currently in Europe. So currently sitting on 95 bases, and this number is growing quite rapidly as well. Every time I update this presentation, I have to add another number to this slide. 250 airports in 37 different countries. We're currently sitting on average, 600 aircrafts in our fleet, with 400 on order. The predominant order of this is the 300B MAX 10, and I believe the first implement of this is in the fiscal year 2027. Our projected number by the fiscal year 2034 is to have 300 million passengers. And where we see this number coming from is with the order of the MAX 10 that's going to be implemented in 2027. And with this aircraft order, it's going to increase the countries we're in, airports we're in, bases, and ultimately, where you guys come into play, we're going to increase in pilots as well. Okay? Now, considering a pilot career and why you should do it, it is very challenging, as I'm sure you guys are aware, but very rewarding, and a very quick reward as well. No 2 days are the same, constantly meeting new people, amazing travel opportunities as well, stunning views, and you get to do what you actually love and what you've set out to do from an early on age. Okay? Now, reasons to become a Ryanair pilot, specifically. So probably while you're in the room today, you've asked yourself the question, why would I become a Ryanair pilot? And the reasons for that. So just to name a few, job security within Ryanair is huge. To give you guys an example, during COVID, a very testing time for the aviation industry. A lot of pilots had to be let go from their airlines. Even the recruitment process had to be slowed down and come to a halt while Ryanair continued to recruit in these testing times. And we held on to all of our pilots that were currently with us as well, which we're hugely proud of. The best roster in the business being a stable 5 on 4 off. And I will explain this in detail as well on what that consists of. No plans, overnight stays, and your roster is always published 4 weeks in advance. And just to note on that, with your roster always being published 4 weeks in advance, you're always going to know exactly where you're going to be, because it's always going to work with your 5 earlies, 4 days off, and 5 lates, and it's going to continuously work like that in rotation for the full year. So if you really wanted to work out where you're going to be for the full year, if you have birthdays coming up, family events, you're going to know exactly where you're going to be. Outstanding earning potentials as well. I will touch on this in the next slide. Great base opportunities. So like I mentioned, 95 bases, and this number is growing. Fastest time to command. On average, we complete 500 plus command upgrades each year. Unrivaled career progression and some of the opportunities such as SFI, LTC, Theory, and a base captain. And pilots can jump seat for personal travel between base and home base with no charge, as long as you're wearing your uniform, you have your passport and your company ID as well. Okay? So this slide is just to give you guys a bit of an idea of where you might be sitting on now. So PPL, you might be just on your first hour, second hour. Working right up through your ATPLs, CPLs, maybe opting for an APS MCC, and then coming to us as well for an assessment. So you can become a captain in 6 years from our new course, Ryanair's Future Flyers, coming from ab initio or Gateway 1. So from absolutely nothing, and then in 6 years' time from becoming for an assessment, you can become a captain as well. And you can work all the way up to being an unrestricted theory as well. How to choose the right flight school. Okay, so just to touch on this is it's very important to pick quality over quantity. Okay, because you're saving yourself money in the long run. If you went with maybe a cheaper side flight school, it may cost you more in sim prep you have to do for assessments, or you're not comfortable with an area in the flying. So that's why you're always picking quality over quantity. In the flight schools, you're checking if their assessment pass rate is high or low. It's an also important factor to think about. And basically what it says, quality saves you money in the long run. So just a few things to note on this is things that you should be researching about when you're picking the right flight school. So does the school perform a comprehensive initial entry assessment, or do they just let you straight in? Does the school have a proven track record of placing students within the airline and passing the actual assessment process? And how you can do that is exactly what it says in the presentation. Talk to the different flight schools today. Obviously, I'm going to heavily recommend the Ryanair approved schools as well. Has the school gone through an official partnership with an airline? Or what some schools do is have their logos of airlines on their website and they're not actually approved with the airline. So it's an important factor to check. Do they have a new fleet, or is it an old fleet? And what simulator is used for the APS MCC? Is it a specific, or is it a type, or is it a generic type? So it's another thing that you need to make sure that when you're picking your flight schools as well. Okay guys, so very exciting announcement to make. We are announcing our partnership with FTE Jerez. So this is the new school that we're going to be partnering with in Spain. I'm very happy to announce it today. So you guys are getting first-hand information on this as well. So basically, this is going to be Ryanair's only approved ab initio modular training partner in Spain. Okay? And we're very happy to be partnered with them as well. This has just gone live in the last few days. Endorsed by a world-class training department, excellent quality of training, and a proven track record of 25 plus years. Professional team with a vast aviation experience, so obviously they've been around for a while, and they have that experience as well. That's so important. And all gateways are available as well, and you can check out their website as well. And they're also here today, so I would encourage you to talk to them as well today. So you are getting this first-hand news, and I'm very happy to announce it as well. So the Ryanair Future Flyer Academy, what that is, obviously it's quite a new thing to everyone in the room, and what this basically is. So there are 3 training paths to Ryanair Future Flyer Academy. The first being the integrated ab initio. So this is 0 to hero. This is when you have no experience or very little experience, and we provide absolutely everything. So no previous flying experience is required, and the training can be completed in just 16 plus months as well. So quite quick turnaround as well. And it can be completed with one of our approved partners. Gateway 1 modular, basically what this is a modular route designated for candidates who wish to spread out their training. So this may be for people that are working alongside that and can't fully commit to the ab initio course. Another extremely important way to go through, and extremely valuable way to go through to get into Ryanair as well. Applies for PPL holders with 100 hours in pilot command who have completed their EASA, ATPLs and theoretical exams as well. Successful candidates will join a mentored AP and CPL, MEIR, APRT and APS MCC with one of our partner schools. So that's basically what this is. Future Flyer Academy, APS, MCC, so the final path, the Gateway 2. Why you should opt for an APS MCC? APS is a tailor-made link between the pilot training and the challenging operation of commercial cockpit. Candidates who complete up to 40 hours in a Boeing 737 sim and over 30 hours in theory. The pass rate with this is, which is a really important thing to note, is 98% of cadets who have a Ryanair APS MCC pass in the initial sim assessment, comparing to 73% with a whitetail APS MCC, and then it drops down quite dramatically to a 50% pass rate with just a standard MCC. And this is a statistic that we've seen through the assessments as well. Applications can be made directly through the approved training partners as well. Ryanair Future Flyer, FFA, as we like to call it. Basically what this is and what we can offer with this is a conditional job offer from day 1 of the course for ab initio and Gateway 1. So this is new as well. We never used to do this before, so the conditional job offer are part of the ab initio Gateway 1. Integrated ab initio and Gateway 1 modular will get fully bonded 737 type rating with no upfront type rating fee. Okay? Whitetails and FFA, APS, MCC, Gateway 2 will still pay the 30K for the type rating for the foreseeable. Okay? So it's only for the ab initio and Gateway 1. You will then get a fast track to the recruitment process and priority on the type rating courses. And just to give you guys a bit of an insight into what I've seen, the guys that do come through the approved Ryanair schools do really well in the type rating because they're shown from such an early on age on what we look out for, the SOPs, the safety culture within Ryanair. So they really progress really well, and they do really, really well in the sim assessment, which I've seen firsthand as well. APS MCC approved partners list recently updated with FTE Jerez, and 50% of current cadets intake in from our programs. Okay? Plans to grow Ryanair Future Flyer Academy to 100% in just 2 to 3 years' time. So we want all of our students basically to come through the Ryanair approved schools because the caliber of students coming from there is really, really, really high. Okay? Program benefits, so what you will receive and what you will get out of it as well. Applicants who join the Future Flyer Academy, whether it's ab initio, modular, or the APS MCC, will have access to the fast-track recruitment process and priority in the typewriting course. Okay, so you will get priority over whitetails and standard MCCs, and you'll get in for an assessment even quicker. Okay, we'll be given preference during the initial selection process, so like I just mentioned, and you will be at a distinct advantage in the assessment process. So like I was mentioning, you're better prepared because you're shown the Ryanair way from an early on age. You will then be shown like I said, the operation philosophy, and will be taught to students from day one of the flight training. Okay, and then you will be tutored directly by a member of the pilot recruitment team, so like myself, before actually attending the assessment. So we best prepare our students that come in from our Ryanair approved schools the best way we can, and that's why they're so successful in the years to come. So just to ensure the competency insured prior to committing to such a large investment, which it is as well, so it's always a factor that you're playing, because becoming a pilot is expensive at the end of the day, guys. So look, before actually going through the process, you're first assessed by your partner's ATOs to ensure that you have the capability to successfully complete the pilot training, okay? And ensure that they are suitable to become a future Ryanair pilot. So before you commit to that investment, we're first making sure that you can become a future Ryanair pilot. And ensure that the 98% average pass rate stays intact at the Ryanair cadet assessment. In the off chance that a student does fail, and from my own personal experience, this is at a very off chance. We very rarely see this happen. But in case it does, comprehensive feedback on where the candidate would have fell short on the day is provided to the ATO's head of training. And this feedback is then implemented in the prep that you will have at a second assessment, which will happen ASAP. So to give you guys an idea of what the new list is updated that looks like, so these are our approved Ryanair pilot training partners. Okay, so AFA first in Ireland, AFTA also in Ireland and Cork, Aston Fly in Paris, Aviomar are in Italy, Bartolini, Poland, and FTRS, our newest partner, are in Spain. Okay? And just to note there, if you want to visit them all today, they're all here today that you'll be able to talk to, and the ones that aren't here today, you can still get their contact information from us. Okay? So touching on what the typewriting program consists of and what it is. So it is a once-off 30,000 payment. Whitetails and Ryanair MCC Gateway 2s, this still abides by. Obviously, the Ab Initio and Gateway 1, this doesn't anymore. Future Flyer Academy, Ab Initio and Gateway 1 are fully bonded typewriting with no upfront cost. The AFA training contract from base training for the first 6 months. And then your salary is also paid from day one of your base training. You'll be fully line checked after an average of 78 sectors. And then after that, you will progress to Ryanair or an employment agency contract at the end of the 6-month training contract. And initially, then you will be hired as a second officer. So to give you guys a bit of an idea of what the salary progression looks like within Ryanair. So coming in as a cadet level, in year 1, you can earn up to 45,000 as a second officer. In year 2, it already jumps up to 65k as a junior first officer at 500 Ryanair hours. In year 3, it jumps up to 80,000 as a first officer at 1,500 Ryanair hours. Year 4, SFI, 1,500 hours, earning up to 110,000. And in year 5, getting the command, which I know probably a lot of people's dream, is to getting that command at 3,500 hours with Ryanair in just 5 years' time, earning up to 160,000. So you can already see your return in investment at such a quick turnaround as well. So how to apply? The first thing you can do is you can visit our website to register your interest and create a profile. So within this profile, we will require a series of documentation that we'll need to see. So the documentation that we will need to see, I'm going to go through this quite quickly, but it's questions that can be asked back at the stand as well. So first thing you'll need to see is your CV. This needs to be the most up-to-date version of your CV. Your passport obviously needs to be valid. Valid medical class 1 needs to be in date, along with your valid EASA license as well, so your MEIR. Your ATBL results from the regulatory authority, so we just need to see the grade here. Your flight school report, so your CPL and MEIR. AUPRT needs to state that it's in accordance with FCL 745, and then your MCC certificate, and make sure it's the actual certificate you received and not just an electronic version of it. Candidates who meet the requirements will then be invited for an online pre-assessment provided by Aon. We use them as our online assessment intake. Candidates who are shortlisted for a sim assessment will be contacted in due course as well, and you'll be offered a date to come into our HQ in Swords in Dublin to come in and do an assessment with myself or one of my colleagues. So what the typewriting course footprint looks like, your ground school will approximately last 6 weeks. Simulator training will last 6 weeks. Base training will last a day with a minimum of 7 visual circuits in a 737-800. Supernumerary flights will last a week, and then you'll observe normal flights from the jump seat. Line training will last 6 to 8 weeks roughly, and flying passengers under the supervision of a line training captain. We also do provide free flights on the Ryanair Group network to attend your course. Okay, it's only to attend your course. It depends where exactly it will be. So the future is bright. What we look to deliver with Ryanair for the future is additional growth, traffic and jobs, growing to 225 million passengers by the fiscal year 2026 and 300 million passengers by the fiscal year 2034, so in just 10 years' time. With 400 plus new aircraft to be delivered, this will provide us fleet and network expansion. The new aircraft order of the 300B MAX 10, some commercial benefits of this: 20% less emission, 21 more seats. We are one of the world's most financially secure international airlines with over 2,000 new pilots over the next 2 years. Some of these opportunities that you'll come in as, such as cadets and direct entry captains, and some opportunities and career opportunities that you can progress to within Ryanair, such as SFI, LCC, LTC, TRE, and a base captain, are some of the career opportunities within Ryanair that you can progress to with us. And start training now, guys. It's the most important thing. So on these next few slides, I just have a QR code for our social medias. This is obviously our Instagram page. You can scan the QR code, follow us. It just gives you the most up-to-date version of what we're looking for as well and where we're going to be in places like this. So I'll leave that up for a few seconds if anyone wants to scan it. Okay, great. And questions, guys, will be taken back at our stand, okay? Thank you all very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So many opportunities there for different entry points. I'm not on mic, I don't think. Fantastic, Jake. Thank you very much.
No problem, no problem.
So many opportunities there for different entry points to Ryanair. It's a little bit of a minefield. There's lots and lots of terminology in there, but that's all part of your research journey. So go onto the stand and chat to the team, and they'll answer any more questions that you might have.